We're heading up market as the BMW 428i Gran Coupe takes on the Mercedes-Benz C300. I'm Alistair Weaver, your host, jury, judge and adjudicator, and I'm joined by James Riswick representing the BMW and making a welcome return to the show, Mike Monticello talking up the Mercedes. The first category up is driving experience. James, this is very much BMW's forte. Surely the Gran Coupe outperforms a Mercedes sedan?
It absolutely does, even though these both have 2-liter turbos and even their horsepower figures are basically the same. Even the C-Class has more torque, and yet the 428i Gran Coupe goes from 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. The C300, it had all-wheel drive, did it in 6.5 seconds. Now, this really is an incredible engine and 8-speed transmission. It has better steering, whether in normal or in sport, and it has that spot-on ride and handling balance. Even with the M Sport suspension, the ride really soaks up bumps nicely, especially compared to that C-Class Sport.
Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of pure performance numbers, the C-Class can't quite match the 4 Series Gran Coupe. Frankly, I'm a little boggled by those acceleration figures. I think it has mostly to do with the BMW's quicker shifting transmission. But here's something you can do with the C-Class that you can't with the BMW. You can get it as either a sport version for more of like a BMW type enthusiast driver, or you can get it as a luxury version for someone who wants to be a little bit more pampered, and I think because of that you can probably get the car a little closer to the way you want it.
Not so long ago this really would have been no contest, but today it's very, very close. But it's still just a win for Bayerischer Motor und Werke. 1 point.
That's German.
Thank you.
So Mike, the Merc isn't quite as good to drive, but does it counter with a better interior?
The C-Class interior feels more like an S-Class in terms of materials and fit and finish, while the 4 Series Gran Coupe feels like a 3 Series because it is one. Yeah. And you know, the interior looks fantastic in the C-Class. It has large panels of real wood trim, and the 4 Series in comparison, I mean, it's kind of bland. It's like BMW did all the styling on the outside and kind of, forgot about the interior. And the C-Class also has this cool new touchpad interface that lets you do finger scrolling for the command functions, which is pretty cool.
Let's move away from electronics and talk about comfort. The C-Class, again, hard to complain about those seats, but the 4s are absolutely fantastically comfortable and supportive, and there's an immense amount of adjustability. Then there's its versatility. Now this might be called a coupe for some reason, but it's actually a hatchback. And with the seats up, it has more trunk space than the C-Class, and with the seats down, it has 46 cubic feet of maximum cargo capacity. That's not quite wagon spacious, but it's pretty close, and no other sports sedan comes close.
Well, surprisingly, both cars have similar rear headroom because they both have dramatically sloping roof lines. But the difference is the C-Class has 1.5 inches more rear legroom than the Gran Coupe. If you're going to put people in the back seat, you're going to want them in the Mercedes.
The BMW might be more versatile, but for its exquisitely crafted cabin, the point goes to the car named after the daughter of an Austrian businessman.
Audi?
So on to value. James, you don't buy either of these cars if you're hard up.
No, you definitely don't, and really definitely neither are value champs. Basically, they both have the same base price of around $40,000, although if you add all-wheel drive, the Ford does cost $2,000 more. Now you do get standard adaptive xenon headlights, a sunroof, power trunk lid, and BMW Assist telematics.
Yeah, but the C-Class fights back with some pretty cool and very important safety features such as collision prevention assist, which actually applies the brakes if it senses an accident is about to occur, and attention assist, which warns you if it senses that you're driving a little erratically and maybe you're feeling fatigued and need to pull over and get a coffee. And for now anyway, every Mercedes C-Class on sale comes with standard all-wheel drive. But these cars are really close, even in fuel economy. The C300 gets 27 mpg combined, which is 1 mpg better than the BMW if you get it with all-wheel drive.
Right. Well, it's another very close call, but for its posher interior, its standard all-wheel drive, and its marginally better fuel economy, I'm going to give another point to the C-Class. So for now, it's Mercedes 2, BMW 1, but all that might be about to change as we enter the wildcard round, where anything goes and I get to choose the points. So Mike, what can you tell us about the Mercedes that will blow the BMW right out of the Rhine?
The C-Class offers nearly as much exterior style as the 4 Series Gran Coupe, yet a whole lot more interior pizzazz. And it does this without making as many sacrifices in terms of people space inside the car. And not only that, the C-Class isn't all pretentious about it and calling itself a coupe when it's not. I mean, James, it's a 4-door. Actually, it's a 5-door hatchback. It's a hatchback.
You know, the BMW 3 Series has always been a great car, but it's never been a great looking car. The 4 Series Gran Coupe, it's both, especially when you get that M Sport package with that oh so cool estriol blue paint. And as long as you're not really carrying around tall people in the back seat, the 4 Series' extra versatility and styling is a combination that just can't be matched in this segment.
For me, the 4 Series just doesn't quite cut it, whereas the new C-Class is beautifully resolved. And as a result, it gets another point. And so at the end of all the fun and shenanigans, the BMW has 1 point. The Mercedes has 3. But that's just what I think. Tell us, what do you think? And be sure to click here for full reviews of the Gran Coupe and the C-Class, and subscribe to the Edmunds channel for all the latest videos.